All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to unpack a simple piece of advice that, on the surface, sounds like it's just about food. But as you'll see, it's actually this really profound philosophy for, well, pretty much every part of your life. And here's the quote that kicks everything off from nutritionist Anne Wigmore. It's such a powerful idea, right? What you put into your body is either healing you or it's harming you. But for me, the word that really changes everything, the word that takes this from just a diet tip to a full-on life philosophy, is that one in the middle, slowest. And look, on the surface, this is obviously great nutrition advice. We all know this, right? Eat well, you feel well. Super simple, super powerful health mantra. But what if we're missing the bigger picture? Let's try to push this idea beyond just the dinner plate. I mean, what if this isn't only about the food we eat, but about, well, everything we consume? Okay, so here's the core argument. Every idea you let into your head, every video you watch, every little habit you let slide, all of it is doing one of two things. It's either medicine, making you stronger, smarter, better, or it's that slow poison, just building up day by day, bit by bit. The key thing to get is there is no neutral ground. So let's start with our first poison. It's one we're all familiar with, the modern obsession with more. You know, more words, more deeds, more busyness, just more of everything. And what's just incredible about this quote is who said it. We're talking about the Emperor of Rome, arguably the most powerful man on the planet at the time. And he's writing a note to himself to say less and to do less. Think about that for a second. That's an amazing act of self-awareness. And this just goes to show this is not a new problem, not at all. You see it perfectly in Shakespeare's Hamlet. You've got this guy Polonius who just loves to hear himself talk. He's so long-winded, and the queen's comeback is just perfect. It's the ultimate medicine. More matter with less art. In other words, hey, can you just get to the point, please? So what's the antidote to this poison of more? It all comes down to disciplined restraint. It means being economical with your words and actions. It means focusing on those small daily things you do faithfully, instead of some grand, empty performance. It's really just about showing up, quietly, and doing the work. Okay, so if restraint is the medicine for the poison of more, then what's the medicine that actually builds greatness? Well, it's all about the work you put in when you think nobody's watching. You have to hear this story. It's absolutely legendary. So it's 3 p.m. The game doesn't start till 7. A young player, Kevin Johnson, shows up super early, thinking he's being the diligent one, right? But he hears something, a ball bouncing. He walks out onto the court and it's not empty. There's Larry Bird, the league's 3-time MVP, already practicing, alone. And Johnson just stops and watches, mesmerized, as Bird sinks shot after shot from the corner. He makes 35 consecutive shots before he finally misses one. 35! That's not just talent, folks. That is a whole other level of focus. That's the unseen work we're talking about. The coach who told this story, George Raveling, he had a name for this. He called it the edge. And that's what it is, right? It's that relentless drive to keep working when nobody's forcing you to. It's this deep understanding that, hey, greatness isn't something you own. It's something you rent, and the rent is due every single day. In this principle, it's not just for sports, not by a long shot. Take this. Back in 1960, a reporter wanted to interview the student organizers of the civil rights sit-ins, led by Diane Nash. They told him the only time they could meet was 6 a.m. 6 in the morning. And you know what the reporter's first reaction was? He just looked at them and said, "They're gonna win, aren't they?" He saw that discipline, that unseen commitment, and he knew. It's the exact same thing as Larry Bird on the court. All right, let's tackle something that can feel kinda tricky. On one hand, we're told to be self-reliant, to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. On the other hand, we're told it's brave to ask for help. So which one is it? It can feel like a total contradiction. And check this out. Marcus Aurelius himself seems to be arguing with himself. In one place, he says, "Get active in your own rescue, if you care for yourself at all." Pretty intense. But then, he also says, "Don't be ashamed to need help, like a soldier storming a wall." So what gives? Well, the key is realizing it's not a contradiction. It's actually a sequence. The goal isn't just rugged individualism, and it's not helplessness either. The Stoic ideal is something we could call earned independence.
The idea is you work on yourself first. You do everything you can to become strong and capable. And then, when you ask for help, it's strategic. It comes from a place of strength, not a place of weakness or habit.
So, how do we actually do this? How do we practice this self-rescue? Well, first, we have to use our own reason. That's our medicine for the soul. And we have to choose the discomfort of really looking at our problems instead of just letting them control us. But here's the most powerful part. We shift our focus. Instead of asking, oh no, am I lost? We ask, what does this situation or this person need from me right now? That simple shift, moving from self-pity to service, that's often the rescue right there.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different ideas. Let's start to pull it all together. Because the really important thing to remember is that this isn't about some huge, life-changing decision you make once. No, this is about a daily dose. It's a choice you have to make day in and day out.
And what is so cool, what's so fascinating, is when you see how these ideas pop up everywhere across totally different philosophies and times. Take the idea of economy, less is more. You see it with Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor. You see it in fantasy with Reepicheep, the small but valorous mouse from C.S. Lewis. And you see it on the basketball court with Larry Bird's quiet, focused practice. This tells you it's not just one person's random idea. This is a real, timeless principle for living a good life. And this final quote from Marcus really brings it all home. He says to think of philosophy not as some boring taskmaster, but like an ointment that you reach for when you're in pain. That's what this is all about. It's not supposed to be some dry academic thing. It's supposed to be practical. It's the medicine you use to heal, to soothe the burns life gives you so you can get back in the fight. So when you boil it all down, it comes to this one simple question. A question you have to ask yourself, not once a year, but every single day. What are you choosing to feed yourself today? Your thoughts, your habits, the media you consume, the people you talk to? Is it medicine? Is it building you up, making you stronger, healthier, better? Or is it a slow poison, just building up day after day? The choice, today and every day, is yours.